Answering another question today. Big up Bungle for this one. I hope I got your name right, mate. Um, Interesting people I met in prison. I think I had a brain overload. Yeah, I bet interesting people in prison. You meet one every 2 seconds. I sat there and struggled to think. Oh, I thought, who have I met? Is it like? I think my brain went blank. I've met so many, I just could not remember one. But yeah, one's one does pop out. One does spring to mind. A geezer, I've thought about him a few times, and I always used to regret not keeping in contact with him back in the day. Used to regret it, not anymore. Geezer I met in Stockton prison. So this would have been between 2006 and 2008. I was I was I was there for that. I was there for 2 years. So yeah, 2006 to 2008. This geezer, he was a quiet geezer as well. Long hair in a ponytail. Used to sit leaning on, come out of his cell. Never used to mooch more than 2 foot past his cell. Yeah, he says come out on the landing and lean on the landing, just watching everyone. But he used to stand where the phones are. Yeah, so if I was queuing up for the phone, hello mate. The next day, hello mate. The next day, hello mate, how are you? The next day, hello mate, how are you? Oh, well, how am I? You know how it is. After that, I'm waiting for the phone. I'm leaning on the railing, just chatting to him. He was all right. He was all right. Weird looking, but he was all right. And it shocked me what he was in for. And I see his paperwork as well, so it was true. It was true. He gave me all sorts of tips on how to live the life that he was living, of which I forgot every single one of them. Regrets. But this geezer, basically, he had properties all over Africa. He was a white man. He had properties in Nigeria and places like that, yeah. And he said, forget about the stuff that you see about Africa on the news. He said the big cities are like Nigeria and all that. Like the big cities in these places are like big cities. They're like and some of the places are really nice. And a pound goes a long way out there, or a dollar or whatever goes a long, long way. So why not? You talk to people. You spend your life thinking something's rubbish, and then someone opens your eyes a little bit. You go, do you know what? You're right. Yeah. Do you know what? I spoke to a couple from Romania before, and they were showing me pictures of like their place in Romania, where they'd come from. All these apartments were on the beach, restaurants everywhere, lovely beaches everywhere. I said, why the are you in Harlow? This was in Essex. They went, the money. We're going to work here for 10 years, then go home. Like, work, slog their guts out for 10 years, not sign on. And why not? Mate, if we take the people and pay the people, then why wouldn't they come here and do it, then go home again? But anyway, I've got off the point. Long hair geezer in Stockton, yeah, he's sitting there talking. He's got all these properties in Africa, blah blah blah. Then he's telling me he goes there and he meets women from Africa, yeah. The poor people that he can flash a little bit of money. Then this geezer wasn't a good looking geezer or anything, yeah. He was just a little ratty looking geezer with long hair, right? He'd get these birds. Obviously, take them here, take them there, take them on holidays, this that. He wasn't taking advantage of these people. They fully got a cut. These women got a 50 cut, and he was the only one that ever got nicked. So they was all still out there. And then he'd take them and put them. Just for instance, he'd take one to Sweden, put one in England, have one in I don't know, Barbados or whatever, all working in like hotel receptions and things like that. Yeah. So they'd come, and the rich people would come with their credit cards, and they'd swipe it, and he'd have the special machine, like a card reading machine, that would take all their details. They'd send it to him. He'd cloned the card, and he was collecting these cards from all over the world. From all over the world. And just say, for instance, you know, he's got the one card in England. You can only draw out so much a day, yeah. So you know, you stand at the ATM, the cash machine, the hole in the wall, whatever you want to call it, at 1 minute to midnight. You draw out the maximum, whatever it is. Then you let it go 1 minute past midnight. You put the card back in, draw out the maximum again, break the card, chuck it away. It's literally what he was doing. Yeah, getting another card, drawing the maximum out, or keeping it for a couple of days. But that's basically what he was doing, and earning thousands. The police didn't even know how much he had. And again, I see his paperwork. I was looking at his paperwork. Yeah, they were trying to find out how much he had. They were trying to find out properties that he had, and they could not find a bean of it. They knew what he was up to, and they couldn't get him. They couldn't get none of his money, which is what they want, isn't it? That's what they want. They don't care about the prison time. And he was sentenced for it. He was in Stockton, so he's already, that's a sentence prison. It's a CCAT, sentenced. So he's already sentenced for it, but they were hunting his dough down, left, right, and centre, trying to find the women. Couldn't find none of it. And yeah, I never, for the short amount of time I ever spoke to this geezer, yeah, I always remember him because he gave me all sorts of advice on how to get like a fake identity, how to build a fake identity that was basically a real identity if you knew how to do it. And yeah, I forgot everything. Literally forgot every bean of it. I wouldn't tell you anyway because it's not what I'm about anymore. Who else have I met? I met a geezer in Hollesley Bay, DCAT, a Special Forces, ex-Special Forces. I want to say SAS, but I'm not sure. He was Special Forces. He killed his wife. Had a nightmare, and he's woke up with his hands around her throat. She died. In England, you can only get a life sentence if you kill someone. There's no, like it is in America, say, you know, where you got, you know, murder 1, murder 2, murder 3, murder 1 being the most severe. And yeah, there's nothing like that in America. In England, murder's murder, and he got life. I'm not saying he shouldn't have got life. He shouldn't have got anything, but he got a 10-year rec, I believe. I believe he was saying. You know, I sentence you to life, and you've got to do 10 years before you're up for parole. But he was telling me that he used to have flashbacks. He used to have flashbacks and this and that, and from the army days, from his time in the army and whatever he'd been up to with Special Forces, killing people and seeing friends getting killed and stuff. He got no help when he come home. I'm not a poor soldier, you know. He's still alive, but it is what it is. His wife would still be alive, probably, if he'd got some sort of help with his issues. You know, he wasn't just, you're home now, see ya. And he strangled her and killed her. Imagine that. Imagine waking up in the night, like, just doing that. Maybe that was the alibi. Maybe that was his thing to use in court to try and get off of it. I doubt it. I'm actually doing him a disservice because that's not true at all. He was he was having a nightmare in his sleep, dreaming about some sort of war he was in. He's grabbed hold of his wife in his sleep, just choked the life out of her. Imagine her as well, thinking, what is he doing to me? Like, why is he doing this? Why is the man I love doing this? She was probably getting dragged out of her sleep as well. What a way to go. Jeffrey Archer I've met. He was a librarian in the DCAT. He's an MP. He's also an author. I forgot what he went away for, but never used to sign nothing. Tight as arseholes, mate. People used to try and get him to do a little autograph on something, so they could earn a little 50 quid or so when they get out. He wouldn't do nothing, mate. Tightwad. I was in Pentonville at the same time as Boy George or George Michael. One of the two. Same horse, different jockey, innit? I forgot, man. And I was in jail at the same time as Amy Winehouse's geezer and Jade, the one that was in Big Brother, her fella. I didn't see none of them. They was all on the protection wing, all of them. When I were like, well, whatever ones were there at the same time as me, they was on the protection wing. Which I'm thinking, I don't think Boy George put himself on protection wing. Good on him if he never, but I don't think he did. So it'd probably been George Michael. Also, I was in jail in Aylesbury. Should I say his name? No, I won't. I ain't said no one's names, have I? Alright? But he used to tell me all the time. He was a schizophrenic, yeah? He used to take tablets for being schizophrenic, right? Get given tablets. I think he was doing a 7 or an 8. He'd give him tablets all the time for schizophrenia. He'd tell me constantly, not just me, he'd tell people at social and all that he was going to kill someone when he got out. Definitely going to kill someone when I get out. Right, mate. Even he was a cool geezer, yeah, and he weren't a mug, yeah. He'd have a tear up and all this, yeah. But you think it's a bit strong, and you always, why are you going to kill someone when you get out? And we just sort of think, all right, yeah, whatever. You're just bullshitting, and I'm not playing the game. Years later, the paper's there. He'd couple of people he kidnapped a couple of French students, tortured them for days, stabbed them up, set them on fire, just to rob their credit cards. He was a cool geezer as well. He was sweet, and he was genuinely sweet. It's just when he used to say things like that, no one took him serious. But yeah, the people you meet in prison. If you enjoyed that, hit the subscribe, and we'll chat later. Adios.